Hello and welcome to the Art and Business and Murals podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Scully, and today we are talking about 5 daily habits that will support your creativity. Now, I am sharing with you habits that I use to support my creativity. They might work for you, they might not. We all are motivated by different things. If you had listened to last fortnight's podcast, you would have definitely heard me talk about that. Um, so, the reason why I wanted to talk about this subject is because I'm about to write my January newsletter. Yes, this is like the last day of January, and I still haven't written it and sent it out. And the reason why there's been a speed hump there is because I feel like I haven't created anything that I could share in my newsletter. Like my newsletter would just be like, yeah, took some time off, haven't created any art, haven't really done much. And I felt really guilty over this summer period because, I took 5 weeks off work, spent 1 week over in Thailand and Singapore, awesome. And then 4 weeks renovating the house to get this studio up and running before I got back to work, which is still not 100% done, but that's okay. Um, so during that time, I did not touch any paint. No, I did touch paint. I lied. I painted all the walls white. Very exciting, I know. But I did not touch paint to create an artwork. I did not create any murals. I did not come up with any great ideas and put them into Procreate. I did not come up with some great workshop ideas, or I just wasn't creating in that business sense. And I really have nothing that exciting to share. Yes, I can show the studio sort of because it's sort of ready, but I felt really guilty about it. And I was like, is something wrong with me? Because I have friends that are mural artists and they just have this innate need to create. Like they'll go and paint a mural all day and then go home and keep painting. And I don't have that. And so I've been thinking about it a lot lately, particularly in the last couple of weeks. And I've been like, I've got to put something in the newsletter. You've got to do something, Sarah. Like, what are you going to show people in your newsletter? This cool woodwork project you did? That kind of would be cool. But like, so I've been in like two minds about it. Like, am I really a creative if I can go 5 weeks without creating anything? But what has come to mind is that I have still been creating. I have created a small Harry Potter sensory room under our stairs, which is extremely creative. I designed all the shelves, everything that went in there, the bed head, the everything, put up the wallpaper, and it was all the decision making. Because if you think about it, creativity is really clever decision making. That's all you were doing when you were creating is, should I do this? Yes. Should I use blue? Yes. Should I do that curve? Yes. That's not good enough. Should I do it again? Yes. It's all these little decisions that you're constantly making in the back end. And I guess when you're renovating a house, you are constantly bombarded by a million different decisions that need to be made. I'm very overwhelmed by how many decisions I still need to make, and I may have thrown a tantrum yesterday via text message to my husband, who was asking me what type of laundry door I wanted, and I was just like, don't care, cheapest. Like, who cares about a laundry door? Anyway, loads of decisions going on already. And so to then add more decision making and create art and make those choices, to me felt overwhelming. So that's why that kind of creativity got pushed to the back. And I used a different form of decision making and creativity during my holidays. So when I came to that conclusion, I felt a lot better about things. But I am now back at work, and making decisions about types of doors is one thing, but having to actually design client work is like a whole other thing. And so the last 2 weeks have been like trying to get blood from a stone, like trying to get me to create something that looks good and is conceptually deep, has just been so painful. And I've had poor Chat GPT. She's been just trying to work me through it, just gently work me through it, giving me little rewards of downtime. in between the small tasks that I'm doing. But my friend, we are back on track. And the reason why I am now back on track, thank goodness, took 3 weeks in total to get me back in, is because of these 5 daily habits that I picked back up and I've now proven that they work. So that is why I'm going to share them with you. So creativity is not something that you either have or don't have. It's something that responds to the conditions that you create around it. So often creatives wait to feel creative before they begin, but in reality, creativity usually shows up after we start, not before. The good news, you don't need huge blocks of time or perfect motivation. Small, repeatable habits can make a huge difference. So here are 5 daily habits that will gently support your creativity, especially during busy or low energy seasons. Or if you're like me, coming back to work and you just went from mayhem summer holidays back into it, and you're like, oh gosh, these, I guarantee you, will help. So the first one is, oh gosh, this is one of my favorite words in the whole world. Build solid routines that are easy to stick to. Routines are like, oh, just the word gets me excited. I think this is the ASD part of me that's like so into routine, and that's cool. Our bodies love repetition. So if you think about it, if you wake up at the exact same time every single morning and you do that for a few weeks, you notice your body wakes up about 1 or 2 minutes before your alarm goes off. Am I right? If you have lunch at the same time every day, so 12:30 on the dot, lunchtime, you feed your body. Do you notice that at like 12:20, 12:25, your stomach starts rumbling, ready for lunch? Yeah. Then do you notice like Friday afternoons around like 4:30 p.m., your brain starts like switching off and then your taste buds are like, maybe some wine, maybe? Only on Friday afternoons, only after 4. It just happens. That's your body responding to routine. Creativity works in the same way. Instead of waiting to feel creative, build a simple, repeatable routine that signals to your body, now is the time to create. If you can make this at the same time each week, fantastic. If you cannot, I understand. Creative businesses are often here, there, and everywhere. So you might be out on a mural job, then running a workshop, then doing this, out there, picking up supplies. I understand day to day things are different, but if you really want to build your creativity, you need to start taking some decisions off your brain so that you can then make those decisions in your creative endeavors. Try to build a creative block at the same time each week. So whether that's first thing Monday morning, maybe it's first thing every morning, that would be amazing. What a privilege. So building this routine, this is what it could look like. You could do something like grab the same drink each time. So it could be a cup of tea. If you're creating after your 9 to 5 job at night, maybe you could grab yourself a wine or maybe like one of those fake wines so that you're not consuming alcohol and that's way healthier for you. But for me, I would like the red wine. It's one of the privileges of bringing my studio home is that I can have a wine when I paint as opposed to when it was 15 minutes drive away. There was no wine while painting. I did miss that. So could look like same drink every time. So make up a drink, sit down with that, and you start drinking your tea, and your body's like, okay, cool. It could be creative time. You could do something like put your sneakers on or put your apron on. I've done some research lately around productivity and balance for autistic and ADHD human beings. And one of the things that a lot of people swear by is putting sneakers on. So these are generally ADHD brained people, and they're saying that they're really having trouble getting to their house chores. And so what they do is just pop their sneakers on and they get going. And let me tell you, my friend, it works. I'm wearing thongs today and I have not been productive whatsoever. I missed the entire morning. I don't know where it went. But I bet you if I had my sneakers on, would be all over it. What else? You could turn music on. You could even have the same type of music. Okay, don't laugh at me. I'm going to tell you a secret that I don't tell everyone, but I'm just going to tell you. I listen to John Mayer. John Mayer is my painting music. I know, don't laugh at me. And then when they do the Spotify end of the year things where they tell you all the stats of what you've been listening to, I'm in like the point one something of John Mayer fans. Like I'm like right up there, like one of his biggest fans because I play it so often when I'm painting. So could be music. Doesn't necessarily have to be John Mayer, can be your own choice. Um, you could move to the same part of your studio or your home or your shed or wherever you're painting. Move into that area. Just move your body over there. And try and keep that space tidy and ready to go if that's something that motivates you. So for me, if there is stuff everywhere and it looks like a shambles, then my brain will be a shambles. I need clean. Whereas I do appreciate that some people like the chaos and it does help them create more. So if you like chaos, you go for it. So think of your own things that you could add to this routine that would help you get into that creative space. But again, same time every day, same time every week will really help your body just switch into it. So over time, these small rituals help your body brain drop into creative mode more easily without forcing it. So that was number one, routine. Oh, my favorite routines. I could talk all day about routines and I could go through my routines from wake up to sleep and it would just really excite me. And I don't know why it feels very weird. But anyways, so number two, set up for the next day at the end of a work day. Now, I learnt this from one of the artists in our group coaching program, and she has some phenomenal coping strategies for neurodiverse brains. And one of them is to set things up ready to go and to put out the tools or put out the things, make visual prompts to do the things so that when she gets up the next day, she has these visual prompts set out. So she knows that she has to, pack this into her bag and she knows that she's going to work on this project because it's out and the paints are out and she knew. And when she told me, I was like, oh yeah, great idea. And didn't think much more of it. She has great ideas. Every time we have a meeting, she has something great. I love it. And then over the summer, when I was working on the renovation for the house, I would come downstairs to work on it, and there was just crap everywhere, like tools everywhere, paint everywhere, wood everywhere, dirt everywhere. Like it was just overwhelming. And so I'd come down and just sit on the floor and cry. So I did lose a fair few days to crying with overwhelm. And I thought, this is not going to work. Like, I'm not going to get through this by crying. So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to try this technique because what was happening is I was like, okay, cool. I should paint the studio. Like, I need to be painting the studio, but I'd have to go back up the top of the house, out the front to get, the roller. And then I'd have to go out to my car to get, the bucket. And then I'd have to clean out the thing from over here. And it just seemed like there were speed humps everywhere. And so it was just, I put it in the too hard basket. And then I'd go, okay, well, if I'm not going to do that, I'm going to waterproof over here. And then I'd be like, okay, well, to do that, I need the tin opener and the tin openers, out there. And that's too hard. And then I have to get this special little roller. And I got to go to the hardware store. And that's okay, that's in the too hard basket. Like everything just seemed too hard. So what I did was exactly what this artist suggested, is I set up little stations. And so station one would be the bucket of paint, the bucket the paint needs to go in, so the tray, the roller with the roller cover on it, the extension pole all sitting in a little bunch, and it was all clean floored. I'd, gotten everything out of the way, tidied it all up, and put that station all together. So I literally had to come downstairs the next day. All my materials and supplies were there, and I just had to go. That's it. No decision making, nothing in the way, no speed humps. I just came down and went. And so what I did is I ended up setting up multiple stations. So there was the painting station. So I'd get in there and paint and do the first layer. And then I knew I'd have to let that layer dry. So then I had station number two set up. So station number two had the bits of wood that I needed. It had the drop saw. It had the horses to put the wood on, had my tape measure, my pencil, everything I needed to do that task for that day. So I'd move over there and I'd do that task and that would be done. And then I'd move back to the painting. And so I kind of had a bit of a system set up where I didn't have to think at all. And it worked beautifully. So this is the next thing. One of the biggest creative blockers, decision fatigue, as I just mentioned, making those decisions. So at the end of your workday, take just a couple of minutes. So if you're anything like me and you're like, oh, I've got to be out the door at 5, I'm going to finish work at 4:58. No, don't do that. Aim to finish your work at 4:40 and give yourself some time and set up for the next day. So this could be writing the to-do list for the next day, or if it's a really busy day, you could even time block it out so that you work on this project from 9 to 10, from this project from 10 to 11, and you block out your whole day. You could choose one priority task on that list because if you're anything like me lately, you see a list and you get overwhelmed with it. So really highlight one task, or you could just write that one task on the post-it note if it's urgent. And then put that like on top of your closed laptop or put it in the middle of your screen so that you don't just automatically open up your laptop and there's your emails and then all of a sudden you're in the email hole for 2 hours doing quotes and invoicing and all this weird stuff that you weren't meant to be doing today. So put that reminder out there ready to go. When you do this, you remove the friction of starting. So instead of asking, what should I work on? You can simply just begin. This also relates to things like paintings. So if you have an artwork that you're working on, then set it up on the easel, put the paints that you're working on next to it, put the clean brushes there. This is one of the things that I would like to do this year, and I know there's another artist in group coaching, is wash the brushes after you've used them. Put them out ready for the next day, nice and tidy and ready to go. That's what you should do. Let's try and get into that habit. So have that all out, ready to roll. So you literally just have to sit there and start painting. You could even chalk up the next section of the painting that you're doing. So you don't even have to think about it. You just get into the flow. And then once you start painting, you'll start making those decisions and it should flow a lot easier. This is just one small habit that makes mornings feel calmer and it helps creativity feel more accessible. I also do this in things outside of the business. So for anyone that has met me in real life, you'll notice that I pretty much wear the same outfits pretty much every day. I have multiple pairs of black pants. They're just super comfortable and easy to do murals in. And so what I do on the weekend is I just set out my Monday to Friday clothes and I put them in my bathroom and stack them on top of each other. So each morning I just go in and grab the shirt and the pants and I put it on and I don't even have to decide what I'm going to wear. So that's one less decision that I have each day. And I know it sounds like a bit like stringent, but it really does help. Same with like meals. I plan all my meals on a Sunday, write them on the family chalkboard, and then first of all, I don't get that stupid question, what's for dinner? Second of all, people can just look on there and someone can start making dinner, and hopefully it's not me because I do not like cooking. So set up for the next day at the end of your workday. Number 3, make time each day to play with no intention to monetize it. Now, let me tell you, this is the number one thing I reckon that I have been missing in my life. Full stop. And the reason why I'm now prioritizing this play is since the ASD diagnosis, and the psychologist was like, look, for you to remain balanced and to prevent burnout every day, you need to spend some time on your special interests every single day. And I was like, my first thought was, oh, does she even know I have to run a business? I am a mum. I am doing house renovations. I am a wife. I have friends. I have sports. I have gym. I have all these things. I don't have time for special interests. Turns out I do. I just need to reprioritize things. And the serenity and calm and balanced feeling I have from just spending even just 20 minutes a day doing something that I truly love just for me is next level. I can't even tell you. I will talk about my special interest for forever. So I'm going to try and make it super brief. So creativity needs space to breathe. That space often comes from play, not output. So your daily play might look like things like a Lego project that you do with your kids at nighttime. So my son and I, although we've been a bit slack on it lately, we have a Lego project that we're working on. So after dinner each night, between 8 and 8:30, we sit down on the couch together and put the Lego project together. Not only does it mean that I'm spending time with my son, but we're both doing something that we really enjoy and we're creating, love creating. You could be working on a cross stitch project or a craft project or a knitting project or quilting or whatever you like, just something that you can have in your hands. You could, and this is my special interest at the moment, you could just potter in your veggie garden. So going out to the veggie garden and just being out there in the afternoon when it's not too hot and watering the plants and pulling out weeds and just pottering around in your garden. So peaceful. Or you could work on a passion project. So maybe you have an artwork that's just for you, or maybe you want to design a mural for your own house, or I don't know what other passion projects are. This is new to me. So whatever else excites you, I guess. Oh, you know what I did over the Christmas holidays that I really, really, really loved is I bought one of those DIY book nooks. Have you heard of them? They're like the one I got, you can get in a kit from Spotlight and it comes all like flat packed. It's essentially like a miniature IKEA project. That's what it is. And like you put together this tiny little, it's like the size of like two fat books put together because it's meant to sit in between your books on the bookshelf. And mine was like a little like greenhouse garden. So I had all these like plants in it and this like little chair and some boots and some lights. Like you can turn the lights on. That was a bit that worried me that they were letting me do the electricals for the greenhouse. That seemed a bit dangerous. Like that's something I would get an electrician in to do in real life. But apparently at that size, it's okay. And also, I don't think the batteries would set it on fire. I guess we'll find out. Um, but yeah, just little things like that. If you're like, I genuinely have no creative outlet, just go to Spotlight. There'll be like a million things there that you could do. Or go to the dollar shop. They have some good projects too, but mainly Spotlight. They got some good stuff. Just find something that is not going to be for sale, that you don't need to share online, that you don't need to turn into content, just something for you. It's creativity without pressure, and that kind of creativity fuels more creativity. And also, it's really nice to just do something for you. Okay, number 4, use this 10 minutes of power. This, my friend, is what got me through the last couple of weeks of having nil creativity. And it was very much ChatGPT pushing me 10 minutes at a time through the days. It is one of my favorite tools, especially when you've got low energy days. So, for example, I ran a workshop in the studio a few weeks ago, and the next day I still had deadlines, so I still had to work, but I was fried. So I used this 10 minutes of power and just did teeny tiny bits of every project to move everything forward. So instead of committing to finishing a project, you commit to 10 minutes. See, that seems reasonable. Set a timer, do the absolute bare minimum, open the file or sketch one idea or prep materials or write a very rough paragraph. Often 10 minutes will turn into more, but even if it doesn't, you've still shown up, and consistency matters far more than intensity. I also use this similar rule. It's not the 10-minute rule, but it's the just do this rule. The just do this rule. I'm pretty sure I've spoken about this before. It's the you got to go to gym, but you don't want to. So you're like, okay, well, just put your shoes on and your gym gear on. And then if you still don't want to go, don't go. So you put your shoes on, you put your gym gear on, and you're like, oh, put it on, might as well get in the car, but I don't have to go. So you get in the car and you're like, automatically start the car and start driving. You don't even have to think about that one. And you're like, oh, look, I'm already halfway there. I'll just go to gym. If I don't feel like going when I arrive at gym, then I'll just leave. So you get to gym and you're like, oh, I'm already here. I might as well just go to the class, and then you end up in the gym class, and then you can't leave. It'd just be weird if you walked out of a gym class and then you feel good because you did a gym class. That's pretty much how I get to gym 90% of the time. And it works. There's only one time that I've left the gym car park and not walked in. But that was for a different reason. So creativity builds momentum through action, not waiting. Even if it's 10 minutes of action, even if it's putting your sneakers on. I feel like the takeaway from today's episode is going to be put sneakers on. And number 5, protect your energy over productivity. So creativity doesn't thrive on depletion. If you're exhausted, if you're undernourished, if you're overstimulated or constantly pushing, creativity will always feel harder than it needs to be. So creativity means prioritizing the following things. Rest. Now, what looks like rest to me might not look like rest to you. So you need to figure out what rest is for you. For me, I get very agitated lying in bed watching TV. That is a solid no from me. That is not restful. I do like sleep. I often feel rested when I wake up if I get a decent sleep, which is nice. But for me, rest is things like sitting on the couch with my son, watching a movie, but also working on a craft project. That to me feels nourishing. Or rest to me is going for a walk along the beach. Or rest to me is spending time out in the garden with the cats, just potting up little plants. Oh my God, I don't, now that I say it out loud, I don't know how I turned into like grandma status so quickly. Like it just happened overnight. I don't know. You know what it is? It's perimenopause. You lose estrogen, and estrogen is what keeps away the gardening vibes. That's what's happened here, isn't it? I've lost estrogen, and now all of a sudden I'm a gardener. Yeah, I see what's happening. That's cool though. Like if I'm going to be addicted to anything, my husband says he's glad it's gardening and not hardcore drugs. Anyway, back to rest. Figure out what is restful to you. It might be solitude. This very much is me too. I like being by myself. I feel rested if I've had time alone, even if it's just like time alone where I've just kind of been pottering around the studio or pottering around at home or just sometimes staring at a wall because I get caught up in my own thoughts. You figure out what rest is. Second thing, you need to prioritize nourishment. Now, if you're terrible at nourishing yourself like I am, and you need to set timers on your phone to remind you to eat, then do that. Set timers on your phone. Making sure that when you're nourishing yourself, it's not with McDonald's or candy, it's with actual real food. So making sure you're getting enough protein, particularly if you're a middle-aged woman, you need more protein, unless you have one kidney like me, and then you need normal protein, not higher protein. But if you have 2 kidneys, you can go a bit higher protein if you want to. Fiber, because you need all that food to come out of you. I am not a nutritionist, by the way. I don't know if you can tell. Go see your own nutritionist. But nourish yourself well, hydrate yourself well. If you forget, set timers. The next thing, have solid boundaries. So protecting your energy is setting boundaries and making sure that people, well, essentially, they don't have to like them, but they do have to follow them. So an example of this might be, um, you keep getting asked to do public events and talk at public events, and you know that it's very draining for you, and they've asked you to talk at this public event and then stay around for the drinks afterwards and then come to the conference the next day. And you know for a fact that that's not going to work with your energy levels. So you compromise and you say, okay, look, I will, but I'm only going to do the talk and I'm only going to stay for an hour afterwards. So you're setting that boundary to protect your own energy, and they might not like that, but you're looking after yourself. The same with creativity when you're in your studio. So you might need to set some really solid, okay, from 9 until 3 on Mondays is my creative studio time. I'm turning my phone off. No one is going to bother me. The kids know, the family knows, so they know just to let you be and not interrupt you, because there's nothing worse than being interrupted when you're in the flow. So set these boundaries to protect your own energy where you need to. And the last one for protecting your own energy, is space. So giving yourself the space to be creative and to regain your own energy. So I've done this in a few ways because for me, solitude is one of the number one ways for me to regain my energy, which is hard for my family because they are the opposite. They like to be around people to regain their energy. So that's a fun mix. So an example, oh, sorry, just knocked the mic. Continue, Sarah. Such a great podcaster. Um, so one way that space does not work is when you're trying to work in your newly built studio and you have electrician trades who are literally installing lights on top of you while you're trying to create mural designs for your client with a deadline of 5 p.m. That, my friend, is not giving yourself space, not time space, not space, not head space. No, none of that. So for me, I'm very fortunate to have this studio space, but also when I need to protect my energy, I also have the under the stairs Harry Potter bedroom space that is for only me and apparently one of the cats who has claimed it as her bedroom. Um, but that's only one person can fit in there, and that one person is me. And so when my energy is low and I need to regain my energy, I go sit in there and I can watch TV or work on a project or do some knitting or some cross stitch or sleep if I need to. That is a space to regain my energy because I can control all the sensory input from there. So you don't necessarily need a whole entire different space. It is a very privileged position that I'm in, but it could be curl up in your bed with your iPad and work from there if that's how you need to conserve your energy for the day. It's not about doing less forever, it's about doing what's sustainable. So when your energy is protected, creativity has room to exist. So those 5 daily habits, let me go through them again, are 1, build solid routines that are easy to stick to. 2, set up for the next day at the end of the workday. 3, make time each day to play with no intention to monetize or show it to anyone. 4, use the 10 minutes of power. 5, protect your energy over productivity. So, my final thoughts on this are you don't need to do all 5 of these habits perfectly. Just choose one, start there, see how it goes. Creativity isn't something you need to chase, it's something you can support through small, intentional daily choices. And those small choices over time will add up. I hope this episode has helped build your creativity. Please let me know what your routines are. I love routines so much. Let me know how you go, and I'll see you in a fortnight.